back everyone to my Chucky series of reviews. I'm continuing this with Seed of Chucky, which is the fifth Child's Play movie, and this is the one that has a lot of controversy behind it. Like, there's that side of people that really like it, and then there's that other side of people that really hate this movie and despise this movie. So where do I lay on that? Well, let's find out. Seed of Chucky is the fifth Child's Play movie. First we had the first Child's Play came out in the 80s, then we had the two sequels, and then we had Blood of Chucky, and now we are here at Seed of Chucky. So yeah, let's get right into it. So I just got done watching Seed of Chucky, and I haven't really watched this one in quite a few years. That's kind of why I'm doing this review series, is because I can get like a fresh memory on all of these Chucky movies. Because I first of all, I never watched that third movie until I started this review series, so I was glad about that. But yeah, some of these I haven't seen in quite a few years, and Seed is one that I heard so much controversy about. Is I didn't want to bother, and I haven't seen it in quite a few years. So I didn't know if I did want to go back and revisit it. But at the same time, this is my own opinion. If you guys hate this movie, that is fine. But to me, I quite enjoy this movie. I was definitely surprised. There's actually some really neat elements in Seed of Chucky, which I did not expect really. But like, and of course, when it doesn't live up to that original Child's Play, it doesn't live up to Blood of Chucky, because Blood of Chucky balanced all elements. It balanced horror with comedy quite well, and Chucky, he had that comedy side to him, but he balanced it with horror quite well. And I feel like that's why Blood of Chucky is a fan favourite for so many people. And then we get to Seed of Chucky, where this one just goes full-blown comedy in your face. Like, horror is not even a thing anymore. It's just a comedy franchise. This is the one where it really starts to go downhill, or basically Child's Play 3 is where it starts to go downhill. It goes from worst to worst to worst. But yeah, this is one, it goes full-blown comedy. It's not even a horror anymore. Chucky, he's no longer scary. He's now just comedy. Like in this one, Chucky is cracking quips and jokes and puns in this movie, and that's kind of really Chucky in this movie. Is that, and I won't lie, there were actually some scenes where I did laugh. The comedy is okay. There are some funny moments, but for the most part, the comedy does feel very forced and very like unfunny at times. Like the first couple of jokes I laughed at, but I want to start off this review talking about the opening scene. And this scene I think is probably one of the best scenes in this movie. It's a POV shot from Glenn's perspective of him like going through the house, and the opening scene, like, it reminded me a lot of the way Halloween 1978 opened with Michael like killing his sister. It reminded me a lot of that, and I feel like the opening scene, it's pulled off. It's extremely well done. I like the way it's done. There was some really cool stuff I do with that opening scene. So yeah, I've got to give you props to the opening scene. But then they basically, after they basically head straight into comedy tone, and the opening scene's ruined with a pissing scene. It's basically, because that's kind of Glenn's thing, is whenever he gets nervous, like on stage, or he does something wrong, he always like pisses himself. And up until like that point in the opening scene, I was enjoying everything. I liked the whole POV perspective. It reminded me a lot of Halloween, but when it got to that pissing scene, I was just like, well, you ruined the opening scene for me. But anyways, yeah, let's move on from that. And I like there's some things in this movie that are neat, and I want to start off with Jennifer Tily is playing Jennifer Tily in this movie, because basically Jennifer Tily, she's basically this big Hollywood actor. She's going on to play the Virgin Mary, and yeah, she's like she's basically a big Hollywood actor now. That's kind of her character in this movie, and I thought that was a really cool like new addition to first off to her character. And it's just Jennifer Tily playing Jennifer Tily, and I really like that. And then there's a scene in this movie where Chucky is masturbating, which is a very awkward scene. But Chucky he does not feel like Chucky in this, and like there is like a lot of like development of, I think, for Chucky's, like there's a lot of changes Chucky has to make, but at the same time, I said Chucky does betray the Chucky character as well, because Chucky, he has always been a murderous doll, and since Tiffany and Chucky have got a son now, Glenn, they have to make changes. They have to be a real family, and they have to stop killing. And like that's a big challenge. That's a big challenge for Chucky in this one, because he has like murdered for like the past like 4 movies, and now, and I feel like it's like it makes sense, but sometimes it's a betrayal of the character to me. Like there's just some really WTF moments in this, like the Chucky masturbating scene is just so like, what? You know, it's so disgusting and just stupid. It just makes you question this movie. And this film was actually directed by Don Mancini, the creator of Chucky, the creator of the Child's Play series, the creator of the Chucky character. He's the one who directed this, he's the one who wrote this movie, and I do not know what happened there. But anyways, yeah, let's move on. Okay, I want to talk about the Glenn character now, because he is the new character in this. He is the new addition to this franchise. So Glenn is the son of Chucky and Tiffany, and Glenn is basically following in the footsteps of his mum and dad. Glenn, he wants to live just a normal, happy family without no killing, no violence, but Chucky and Tiffany are having a hard time to deal with that, because they're so used to killing people and all that, but now that they have a son, they have to start caring for their son and all that, and they have to move on. Like what's in the past is in the past, and they have to move on from all that killing and violence that they've been doing, and they have to start a happy family. And at that point, that's where this movie kind of betrays the franchise. Is Chucky, he's always been a murderous doll, and he hasn't been anything else besides that, and just making him this friendly, non-killing doll, like, just to me, that's a betrayal of the character. Because from what we've learned in the other 4 movies, Chucky is a killing machine. That's what he is. That's what he does. So I feel like it was just kind of a betrayal of the character, but at the same time, it's a cool new direction. It just does not work though, unfortunately. I was editing this, I totally forgot to mention this. He takes all these kills for granted, and he's no longer scary. Chucky has always been a scary, murderous doll. That's who he is, that's what he is, and it's just like they take away that horror element. It just feels such a betrayal of it. And Civ Chucky, I can see where people are coming from when they say this is the worst one in the franchise. I can certainly see how and why. It's just like the kills are taken for granted, and it's all the horror. It's non-existent. It's just the main focus here is comedy now. It's just like that horror, it's no longer here. Like swipe that out of the books. That's no longer there. It's just comedy. And Chucky, like in the past 4 movies, you actually felt scared of Chucky, and you actually found him this murderous threat. But in this, he's just like this joke. Is this big joke to this franchise now. I guess. But like I can see where they're coming from, is because they have to make changes now that they have a kid. Now because they have to start looking after the kid, they have to start caring for them, they have to become like parents and all that. And you know, like there's a lot of responsibility for them now because they have their son. So yeah, like Glenn, like there is a point in this movie where Glenn becomes an extremely annoying character. And if you haven't seen Seed of Chucky, or if you have seen Seed of Chucky, you know the moment I'm talking about, because I literally just stood up in my seat and went, what? Because it's a very like this weird and awkward moment, and you'll know the moment when it comes around. If you've seen Seed of Chucky, you know the scene, hopefully, that I'm talking about. But yeah, like I think for the first 2 halves, I think like towards the middle of the second act to the end of the second act, Glenn becomes an extremely annoying character. And like for the first half of the movie, Glenn was an okay character. I thought he was okay. I thought he was fine. like I said, he's not this, like, I think this is a cool direction to take this fifth movie, because they have to really change up this franchise after making four movies. They have to really change up this franchise, and I mean, I can see that the direction that they're kind of taking it, but it does not work. There are some cool new things that they do with this sequel, like I said, with Jennifer Tily being a big Hollywood actor, I think that is, and also Redman, yes, the rapper. He actually plays a main character in this, and basically who Redman is he is a big Hollywood director who's basically who wants Jennifer Tily as the Virgin Mary, and then he gets murdered halfway through the movie. And there's actually a really cool death. Actually, I want to talk about the deaths, and I'm kind of all over the place here, but I want to talk about the deaths, because a Chucky movie cannot go without its death. But the biggest question is, are the deaths good in this? Well, I thought they were okay. Like I said, they're nothing compared, I think, to the first four Child's Play movies, but these ones are okay. Like I said, there's one where this like girl is like lit on fire, and she falls down like these stairs. I think that was a good death. Yeah, like I said Chuck, it has some fine moments. I might not be as clear in this review as I have been in the past, but it's just I am delayed on a shit ton of Chucky reviews right now. Like I still have Cult to review, and I still have Bride to review as well. But I recently saw Scene of Chucky, so I thought, why not record this one first? But yeah, I don't hate this movie as much as some other people. I think the first two acts are fine. I think the first act is great. My own opinion, I'm just kind of giving my own opinion here, and I thought Scene of Chucky was okay. Like I said, it's nothing compared to that original. Like that original that's where you draw the line. That is just pitch perfect right there. And then the sequel is probably one of the greatest sequels of all time. And then we have the third movie, which starts to go downhill, and it's not really that good, that third movie. And then Bride Chucky is really great, and then we get to here. But anyways, guys, yeah, that's basically my review for Seed of Chucky. Let me know down in the comments, what did you all think of Seed of Chucky? Did you like it? Do you hate it? Or are you kind of in the middle with it? Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section down below. So anyways, guys, I hope you have a good rest of your night, and I'll see you in the next. Now that I have got the chance to think about this movie overnight, this is easily the worst in the franchise. I don't hate it as much as some other people, but I definitely have problems with it. I think it's too over comedic, because Chucky, he always had that smart ass side to him. He always had that horror side to it, but he balanced that with his one-liners and the comedic side. But that whole side, that whole element to Chucky, it's not even there anymore. That does not even exist. It's just a comedy. I feel like it's just very over comedic. Most of the jokes did not land, minus probably the first few jokes that were in the movie. But yeah, the comedy is not that good, and really betrays the Chucky character by trying to make him friendly when Chucky has always been a murderous killing doll. That's who Chucky is. He's never been a friendly, and I feel like, I mean, it's an interesting direction. I think it's an interesting concept, but it just does not work in execution. Also very lazy. It basically leaves you with the final jump scare, uses that tactic, and it's so on the nose. It's a very on the nose, very one note type ending, and it does not work. But like I said, I don't hate this movie as much as some other people. I think the first act of this is pretty decent and has a neat setup. I think the way Jennifer Tily is in the first act, I really like her character in the first act, how she's this big Hollywood actor, and now she's playing the role of the Virgin Mary. I think that is pretty cool. So I think the first act is great, but I think where this movie starts to go off the rails is the second act, and some of the stuff they do with Glenn in this movie. I mean, Glenn, he was okay for the first act, but then he goes off the rails probably towards the middle or at the end of the second act, and they do something with Glenn's character that is just so, which makes Glenn an extremely annoying character. And yeah, like I said, I don't hate this movie as much as others. I've heard this is the most hated Child's Play or Chucky movie, and yes, I do definitely agree. Like, I mean, Bride of Chucky is way better than this. Curse of Chucky, a lot better than this. Cult of Chucky a lot better. Cult of Chucky is a lot better than this. The original 3 movies are a lot better than this. This is easily bottom of the barrel. But like I said, what I said in my review, that's really honestly how I felt first viewing when watching it for the first time. For my first viewing of watching this movie with fresh eyes after a few years of not watching Fanatic Chucky, it's not as terrible as people I think say it is. I think it's definitely bad because it portrays just a lot of the Chucky character. And this is directed by Don Mancini, the creator of the Chucky name, the creator of the horror icon that we know and love today. And that's one thing Don Mancini likes to do. When Chucky is masturbating in this movie, and it's the most disgusting, most gross, and it's just so out of character, and it's one of the most WTF moments of this movie. Making Chucky friendly, that is such an out of character. If you are a person that really dives into these Chucky movies and you really dive into the Chucky lore of these movies, you realize that that is such an out of character like that. That's like making Freddy a nice guy. Seriously, that's like removing all that horror element from him and making him a nice horror icon. I think that's basically ripping apart the horror icon. Sid Chucky, I've really thought about this movie overnight, and it's definitely probably the worst in this franchise, but it still has a level of fun. It still has a level of entertainment to it. I can still watch this movie. I can still have fun for the first act and all through this movie, even though I know it's bad. This is probably what I would describe as dumb fun. Dumb and absurd, but it's enjoyable. And even though I know that this movie is bad, I can watch it kind of just knowing that, I guess. But if you're really diving into this movie, and if you are a big die-hard Chucky fan like me, and you really watch these movies for the story, for the characters, for the kills, for the gore, it's really not in here. And also, Brad Dourif is still really good as Chucky compared to what he got handed in this movie. But even Brad Dourif, he's not great in this movie like he is in the other Chucky movies. There's just something off about him, and I feel like a lot of that has to come from the directing, and a lot of the problems come from the script as well. Because there's some dialogue in this movie that is not great. But yeah, overall, City of Chucky is what I would call dumb fun. I mean, I can watch it and I guess just admire at how dumb it is and kind of just laugh and have fun with it. It's definitely the worst in the franchise for sure. But anyways, I'm going to hand it over to Entertainment Fanatic Reviews, who's going to be collabing with me on this review. So go ahead, take it away, buddy.
First, I want to thank Dove's Movie Reviews for letting me be a part of this collab on Seed of Chucky. This was fun doing this, but it wasn't fun watching the movie. But yeah, let's get into my positives and negatives with this movie, because while it is my least favorite in the franchise, I used to hate this movie like it was a 1 out of 10. I just flat out hated it. But upon rewatch and time before that, this movie is so bad, but it's like watchably bad. It's not so bad it's good, but it's watchably bad. It's the worst in the franchise, in my opinion, just like so many others can agree on. There are still some positives with this film, but first I'm going to jump into the negatives. The story is just... it could have been a hell of a lot better. The character of Glenn and Glenda is just... no need to really get into that one. There's some really bad dialogue and some really bad jokes. There are a few Chucky one-liners, but they're not that great. Like, the humor's not great, the dialogue's not great, the characters aren't great. There's not that much you can care for with this film. They go all out, they go full-on comedy with this film, and it doesn't work because part of it is just so fucked up, it's not even funny. The opening credits with the sperm going through Tiffany, I just thought that was stupid. The production, to me, felt like a TV movie for some reason. It's no wonder why this franchise went to direct-to-video. But we'll get into those later, I guess. But there are a few things I like with this film. The practical effects look okay, you know. I love the look of Chucky. I like it better than Bride. And I would love to see a Christmas setting with Chucky and Tiffany, because, you know, they're shooting that scene in the film. I like this film is sort of meta. Like, you know, it takes place in real life and in the movie universe. I love the homages to Psycho and a few other horror films. I do like that John Waters is in this. It's very funny. His scenes are funny. And Chucky's death was pretty awesome. I'll have to give him that. But other than that, I'm not really the biggest fan of this movie, but I don't hate it as much as I used to. So with that said, I will give Seed of Chucky a 4 out of 10. And I want to thank Dove's Movie Reviews for letting me be a part of this collab. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace.